All right. Welcome, everybody, to day 2 of our Spring into an Epic Summer Adventure with our special guest, Deshelle McVeigh from Literary Adventures for Kids, and Gina Mayo from Music in Our Homeschool, and Olivia Greathouse from Masterpiece Society and Awaken to Delight. So, we are super glad you're here with us today. And please, once again, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. And I forgot to say yesterday, I was a bit flustered, but I forgot to say that if you watch the replay, please comment and let us know where you're watching from. We had someone joining us yesterday from Slovenia and also from Australia. Of course, we had some joining us from Ireland and, of course, Canada. So, all around the world, we have people joining in, and we're super excited that y'all are here with us. So, I already see Elena. She was the first to be waiting for us. And then we've got Melissa again. Hey, Melissa, Jessica. Oh, Elena is from Yankton, South Dakota. Jessica's from Youngstown, Ohio. And we know Melissa's from Colorado. We've got Shell Tustin and Isabel, her daughter Isabel from Oklahoma. She is really close to us. I think you're about half an hour away from us. Marisol from Central Florida. Allison is in Illinois. I don't know how close she is to you, Gina. Gina's in Illinois. And we've got Utah, Kentucky, Canada back in the room. Woohoo! So welcome, everybody. And just also, if you will go ahead and post the links to our various summer art course camps and Gina's membership. And then once you get done doing that, if you will post the name generator for today. So yesterday, I forgot to let us read out some of the names for your kids. So I want to make time to do that. Today we are royalty, and Deshelle and I are going to have an evil duel between the white witches. We'll see which one of us can be the most evil. It's probably me. But I look like a nerdy evil queen with my glasses on. So
I will soon.
All right. So did I read Arizona, Washington State, Texas? Oh, good. So Allison and Gina are really close. We've got Vermont. Awesome. So welcome, everybody. And I'm going to go ahead while Olivia's posting all that stuff for us. So today for the name generator, God bless you. I forgot to mention that Olivia is Susan.
I'm Queen Susan today.
And Deshelle is Queen Jadis, the blonde. I am Queen Jadis, the brunette. And Gina is Prince Caspian. But we're going to find our royal names. And so you will just use king or queen plus the word the. And then on the name generator, it's A through Z. You will find the first letter of your first name, and that will be your complete title. So mine is Queen Alicia the Resplendent. And Olivia, you are?
I am Queen Olivia the Valiant.
Deshelle, do you remember your title?
Yes, I am Queen Deshelle the Glorious.
And she needs a beam of light shining on her right now, radiating that glory. And Gina?
Queen Gina the Opulent.
Oh, I love that. So
love it.
Once you get, have you already put that on there? Oh, she's doing it. Once you find yours, just go ahead and let us know in the comments your kids' names. Shell's already got hers. She is, that's Isabel. She is Queen Elizabeth the Magnificent. I love it. My crown is coming off. Paula, the name generator is for the Masterpiece Society studio members. It's in the course, but we are putting a free one in the comments. And I believe that Olivia just posted it on Facebook. We may have to post it separately on.
We'll have to post it on ours.
Okay. And post it on the YouTube channel. It's command. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Olivia's having to do it on our channel for me, and now I can't see anything. So I'm just going to
So
pretend
bear
that
with
I
us for
can.
just a moment. Oh, you mute. How do you mute?
Mute us.
All right.
You know what? I am going to read something while she's doing that because I had I won't call out your name because I didn't ask your permission, but I just wanted to read a comment from yesterday. She says, "We absolutely loved it." And she said, "I'm so glad that we can instill this love for learning and these great books that change our heart for good and focus on the good and the beautiful." So that made me so excited because most of you know that we were Charlotte Mason homeschoolers. And I just believe that if y'all are not Charlotte Mason homeschoolers, forgive me for saying this, but I believe that it is one of the best homeschooling methods or education philosophies to instill a love of learning, a creative spirit in your children. And I wanted to read that. Her quote or her post made me remember this quote. This is from the Parents and Children book. It's volume 2 of the original homeschooling series. And Charlotte Mason said, "Children must be nurtured on the best. They must grow up upon the best. There must never be a period in their lives when they are allowed to read or listen to twaddle or reading made easy." Sorry, let me make sure that I'm looking at the wrong page because I also had an art quote there. Children must have the best books. One more thing is of vital importance. Children must have books, living books. The best are not too good for them. Anything less than the best is not good enough. And if it is needful to exercise economy, let go of everything that belongs to soft and luxurious living before letting go the duty of supplying the books and the frequent changes of books, which are necessary for the constant stimulation of the child's intellectual life. We need not say one word about the necessity for living thought in the teacher. It is only so far as he is intellectually alive that he can be effective in the wonderful process which we glibly call education. So living books played a huge role in our education of our children. And so I was going to have Olivia talk a little bit about Aslan and allegory yesterday, and we got caught up in the lateness of our broadcast. So I just wanted you to tell a little bit about how you loved all the living books and just especially Chronicles of Narnia.
Well, it was my favorite school subject. When I was in school, it was like we would get together in the afternoons. Usually the boys and I would be folding laundry and mom would be reading aloud for us. But those were my favorite times because I've always loved stories. I've always loved books. And so that was a time when we would just come together. We would be able to discuss afterwards if we felt like it. And it was a wonderful time. And it was times like those that really encouraged my love for books, especially when we were able to read the Narnias, because I had already read them first. And then it was like my brother's turn to read them. And I was like, "Oh, can we do it all together so I can read them again?" And I remember being like, "Oh, come on, let's just read one more chapter because I love this part and blah, blah, blah." And it was fun to me. So that's one reason why the Narnias have always been like really special and important to me.
And tell them what you were telling me about rereading them as an adult now.
So that's true because like when you're a kid, you're just kind of sucked into the story and you love, I'm tilting my hair. You love just the adventure and sort of falling into this other world that's far away from home. But when I came back and read it again as an adult, I was like, oh my gosh, there is so much allegory here, so much biblical truths and so much representation of the love of God that it really like made me really like take a step back for a moment because I was like, I have no memory of being aware of all of this biblical truths and biblical allegories in the story. And so I had to like pause for a moment. I was like, man, he really like instilled the love of God and the story of Christianity into these stories that I just didn't recognize when I was a kid. But now that I'm older, I see them all now.
So it's also important to actually let your kids sit in and reread things that you read to your
Yes.
younger ones. And I will say we want to do something with our Awaken to Delight members. We want to start with Winnie the Pooh because I have adult children and we still giggle about the
They're
different little
so
episodes in the book.
cute.
There was the one with the was it the Heffalump? The
Heffalump.
aha, where Piglet was trying to sneak up on one that I giggled so hard I could not even read it. And so I was like kind of a failure. I would cry through Little House on the Prairie trying to read them aloud and laugh through some of them. So, but still, and just so I just want to encourage you, let these times that we are coming together and expounding on these living books, don't just do them one time, do them over and over with kids of different ages and let your teens come in and sit in the morning time when you're reading them or the afternoons, whenever, because they're going to get something out of it each time that they didn't get when they were kids, when they were just enjoying the stories. So,
yeah.
All right, I will be quiet again and let you read out some of the names to us.
All right. Well, we have had quite a few names come in. So we have Queen R, the courageous, Queen E, the wonderful, King G, the opulent, and King A, the resplendent.
Awesome.
We also have Queen Sadie, the gallant, Queen Noel, the righteous, King Connor, the brilliant, Queen Lexi, the lion-hearted. Ooh, that one's one of my favorites.
That.
Queen A, the resplendent. And then we have so many on our YouTube channel as well. We have a Queen Elizabeth.
Love it.
I think it was Queen Elizabeth the Magnificent.
And welcome from South America. We see some Colombians tuning in. Sorry, keep going.
Queen Paloma the Noble, Queen Tears of the Fearless, King Prescott the Noble, Queen Dottie the Glorious, King Riley the Courageous, King Regan the Courageous. These are so fun. Queen Opulent and Queen Lionhearted, Melissa the Just, Ashley the Resplendent, William the Intrepid, Wyatt the Intrepid. Beatrix Potter is worth a reread as well. Oh, yes, we love Beatrix Potter. We
love Peter
Rabbit. People saying we love Winnie the Pooh as well. So, yeah, those are just, I think those are most of the names that have come in that I can find. So, yes, I love seeing all your names.
All right, you want to go ahead and show off our painting for today?
Yes, today's painting is Queen Jadis. And as you can see, they're kind of twinning today.
let's put her some glasses on. Just
there we go. But yes, this one was one of my favorites to paint. I loved doing her crown, and we've got a little bit of her fur coat and then the magic that's in the background here. So this one was the one that's coming out today. Not today. It's the second painting that's coming out, and it's, I don't know, it was just really fun putting together. And I did use the book more as inspiration for this artwork than I did the movies. So that's why she has black hair.
Except she's got blue eyes.
I forgot where it said she had blue eyes.
Icy blue eyes. Okay. So I think that is all that we want to do, except I want to remind you, I forgot to show these. You went and got them earlier or later in the thing, but we have our giveaways. So you have to be live for that. And today, Miss Gina has 2 separate giveaways. So you're going to need to be paying attention. And this time we're going to give a little bit more of a pause to let the people, I think Facebook Live is a little bit slower than our YouTube channels are. And we want everyone to get a chance to comment. So did we talk about everything?
I think so.
All right. So I am going to go ahead. Miss Gina, are you ready? She is going to talk.
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, I will let you go ahead and tell what you're going to talk about.
Okay. So we're doing royalty as our focus today, and I'm Prince Caspian. He was in one of the battles, so that's why I have my knight gear on. But I wanted to talk about how music relates to royalty, and it has for many, many years, even way back down into the medieval period. So that's what our focus is going to be from my segment today. We're going to talk about some different families of instruments and which ones are related to royalty, a style or a kind of even a genre, you might say, that's related to royalty. And I will play some music for you, and then we will finish up with the giveaways. So that's what we're doing for the next 20 minutes. So in case you've never studied the 4 main families of instruments. I have some posters here, and I'm actually going to be talking about a fifth family too. So let's start with that today. Here's the first one. This is the woodwind family. In the woodwind family, you blow into these instruments. Some of them have something that's called a reed that sticks out the top. Actually, the saxophone has it inside the mouthpiece. The English horn and the oboe, you can see the reed up at the top there. The clarinet is inside the mouthpiece, but then the flute and the piccolo, you're just blowing into it as a wind instrument. So those are the woodwinds, even though they're not all made of wood. Like the saxophone looks like a brass instrument, but it's not. Then we have the percussion instrument. And the way you can determine a percussion instrument is it's something that you hit, shake, or scrape. And so you're hitting the drums, you're hitting the xylophone and the cymbals together. You're shaking the tambourine, you're hitting the triangle. Yesterday, I talked about a güiro, which is a scraper instrument. So those are all percussion instruments. And you might think it's weird to see the piano here, but the way the piano is played is that when you press on the key, a little felt hammer hits the string. And since it hits the string, a lot of people put the piano inside the percussion family. Then here are the string instruments. So obviously all the string instruments have strings. They go from smallest to biggest: violin, viola, cello, and double bass. And then here's a harp. You could also put instruments like the guitar and the ukulele and the banjo in the string family. And tomorrow we're going to be doing an activity with the string family. So be sure to find an empty shoebox and some rubber bands and bring those for tomorrow's lesson. And then the last family of the main group of instruments is the brass family. These are all made of brass, the shiny golden metal that you see there. And you blow into these just like woodwinds, but they have a valving system that is a little different than how a woodwind instrument works. So we have, from smallest to biggest, we have trumpet, French horn, trombone, and tuba. So these are the instruments that I wanted to tell you are mostly associated with royalty. And it's because they are often played for a fanfare. And what is a fanfare? Oh, you know what? Real fast, I forgot to tell you the fifth family of instruments we could call the keyboard family. So pianos could also go in that. Piano, electric piano or synthesizer, harpsichord, organ, clavichord, and a celesta, which is a really small instrument that you still play with keys. So that's the fifth family, is the keyboard family. But a fanfare, I found a couple of definitions I wanted to read to you. A fanfare is a short ceremonial tune or flourish played on brass instruments, typically to introduce something or someone important. Or here's another one. A fanfare is a short musical flourish which is typically played by trumpets, French horns, or other brass instruments, often accompanied by percussion, like the drums. It is a brief improvised introduction. So improvised means that sometimes they might kind of change it up. It's not always set exactly how they're playing it. An introduction to an instrumental performance. So that's another type of fanfare you might hear. And then the Golden Encyclopedia of Music says it's a musical announcement played on brass instruments before the arrival of an important person, such as heralding the entrance of a monarch. So monarch, of course, is a queen or a king or a prince or a princess. Historically, fanfares were usually played by trumpet players, as the trumpet was associated with royalty. Now, two of the most famous fanfares that you'd probably hear are Fanfare for the Common Man by Aaron Copland, or the Olympic Fanfare by John Williams. And if you all watch the Olympics this summer, you will hear it. They play it quite often throughout the Olympics. I can't play those for you all today because there's certain music that if I play, the Facebook and YouTube will probably block the video. So I don't want to play those two, but you might want to look them up and play them at home. So that's John Williams' Fanfare and Aaron Copland's Fanfare, because they're both great to listen to. But I did find some other things that I think we can play and we won't have a problem with. I wanted to demonstrate the sounds of each of these brass instruments. So let me see if I can find a way to put this here. There we go. And we are going to listen to the trumpet first. Get kind of organized here. Let's see, where did it go? Yes, someone asked, is it a copyright problem? Yes, that's why they don't allow people doing certain videos or live sessions to play music that's copyrighted. And here is a silly way to play a trumpet. It's fun to hear a trumpet that sounds like a horse neighing. You do that. Trumpets can do fun things like that. Now here is the trombone. And now the French horn. The next one I'm going to play is the tuba. And I wonder if any of you that were with us yesterday remember which animal I played for the tuba. If you do, you can type it in the chat. Let me do that again. Yes, it was Bulgy Bear. That's so funny. So he was the tuba. Did you notice that the smaller the instrument, the higher the pitch, and the bigger the instrument, the lower the pitch? So that's how the brass instruments work. Now I'm going to play a little bit of a trumpet piece for you, and then we're going to relate some of the music to the royalty in The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. So here's a trumpet piece. Now, when I was telling you the definition of fanfare, I said that it's often brass instruments, especially trumpets, but also percussion. So here is a percussion instrument that you often hear with a fanfare. See if you know what this instrument's called. Anybody know which kind of drum that was? They're playing it really, really fast. Let me find the picture while you're writing it in. It's this one right here, the snare drum. Very good. You got it. The snare drum. Now I have a few examples of fanfares. Yes, they do play snare drums in parades. So here are some fanfares so you can get an idea of what I mean by a fanfare. So didn't that sound like it was introducing an important event or an important person? Here's another one. So those are all fanfares that are just very short and then they stop. This next one is more like the definition that said it was going to introduce a musical piece. So listen to this one. So that was the fanfare, and then it went into the regular music. Okay, this is the time where I'm going to play 4 different pieces, and we're going to relate them to 4 different kind of royalty scenes throughout the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The first one is going to be Aslan. So just Aslan being there. Then because he is the king, right? He's the Lion King. Then we have the 4 Pevensies coronation at Cair Paravel. Then we have the Queen Jadis, and she is at her castle. And the 4th one is at the end of the movie when they are riding, I think they were hunting, and they get back to the lamppost, and then they're remembering, oh, the lamppost, and then they go back home. So that is the 4th piece that I'm going to play. That is something I was going to say. Now I can't remember. Okay, so for Aslan, I picked the music Royal March, the Lion's Royal March from Camille Saint-Saëns's Carnival of the Animals. So this is more of a lion music rather than just a fanfare music. I remembered what I was going to say. I want you to, if you brought a piece of paper and something to write with, I want you to write down those 4 places or draw a picture for each of them. So the lion, Cair Paravel, which is a castle next to the water by the sea, the witch's castle, and the lamppost. So those are the 4 that I want you to draw pictures of. I'm going to play them for you one time, and then we're going to play a game where I'll play them again, and you have to point to the right picture. Okay, so here's the lion one. I like how someone said that it sounded like the centaurs and the fawns dancing around Aslan. So that was the Royal March by Saint-Saëns. Next, we have Music for the Royal Fireworks by Handel. And this will sound like the coronation of the 2 kings and 2 queens at Cair Paravel. I think one reason that one reminded me of the coronation was because it's so slow and it sounded like they were walking. Yes, someone says you're imagining King Peter about to be crowned. They were walking slow, walking up to the front and being presented to all the people. Big, joyful, and triumphant. Winter is over and the prophecy is fulfilled. I love that. All right, the next one is the musical offering, 5 canons on the royal theme by J.S. Bach. I picked this one for Jadis because it doesn't exactly sound evil, but it's in a minor key. So it sounds a little sad and not, it doesn't sound happy. So see if you think this one works for Jadis. And then the final one is going to be the 4 royalty riding through the forest when they were doing their hunt, and then they find the lamppost. Okay, so see if this one reminds you of that. Oh, and let me tell you what it is. This is Music for the Royal Fireworks Part 2, also by Handel. Let me read what a couple of people said about the Jadis music. It sounds like snow falling and wind swirling. Sounds sad. I can imagine a crooked ice palace. Yes, I see the white witch on her throne. And for the one I just played, it sounds jumpy like the horses trotting and they're on their way home. It sounds like a ballerina would dance to it. Yes, exactly. Okay, so you ready for the game? I'm going to play a little bit of each of these 4 pieces and you choose which one it goes to. Is it the horses galloping, going to the lamppost? Is it the Queen Jadis with the ice castle? Is it the coronation at Cair Paravel? Or is it Aslan? Okay, here we go. That one was Jadis. Very good. Okay, here's the next one. This one is the lion. Listen to this part right here. It's supposed to sound like him roaring. All right, let's do the third one. Yes, you all got it. The horses, the lamppost, chasing the stag. Yep, you're all correct on that one. Okay, here's the last one. I just realized I played the wrong one. That was Jadis again. I meant to play this one. All right, the coronation. So I would encourage you also to listen to the movie music from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian, the movies that came out in the last about 15 years. Again, I couldn't play that music here on our live today, but it's beautiful music, and I encourage you to listen to that. Now I want to talk about our giveaway. I have two things to give away today, and one of them is this instrument called an ocarina. It's made of like a clay. So if you dropped it, it would break. And you blow it into it on the top, and it has these holes in the side. So it's a type of flute. And it comes with a booklet that teaches you how to play it and a little bag. This is my son's. You would get a brand new one, of course, if you win. And this one will only go to someone who lives in the United States. And then I have a second gift that is an online course I wrote called A Year with Lewis and Tolkien. A couple of years ago, one thing like Olivia was talking about with her homeschool, one thing I love doing with my kids is reading aloud with them as well. And I was feeling like as my students got older, as my children got older, I wasn't being able to have them around as much. They were too busy doing math and science and all these other things. And I wanted them still to come sit with me and have our morning time together. So I created morning time for teens. And that's what A Year with Lewis and Tolkien is all about. So this is how you can enter to win. If you're from the United States, I want you to put USA after the word. If you're not, just write the word so that I could choose one from each category, okay? And we'll wait until after Miss Deschelle does her presentation to pick the winner so you have enough time to write it. So I want you to write trumpet, and if you're from the United States, write trumpet USA, okay? Trumpet or trumpet USA. And I will turn it over to Deschelle. Thanks for joining me today, everybody.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to have to put on my glasses because I can't see because this white witch is blind if she to reading. Okay. Was that not so much fun? I was just sitting back here, just enjoy listening to the music. I think I just sit here all day and listen to the music. That was so much fun. Okay, so I see everybody's putting in to win. That's so exciting. I hope you guys will. I wish you all could win. And I really want to go buy one of those just to learn how to play it now. That is the coolest instrument. Okay, yesterday we talked about poetic prophecy. And I said, see if you can write a poetic prophecy at home yesterday. So if you wrote one, pop it in the comments and I'd love to read it. And then while we're waiting on those comments to pop in, I also have a little printable today that we're going to use. If you want to, if you don't, that's totally fine. You can use paper and pencil. I have posted it into the comments, and Miss Olivia is going to post it into the comments on her site. And if I can get Miss Gina to do that too as well. And that way we will have have the ability to get it. If you don't want to use it, then again, it's fine, not a big deal. But if you do, it's there. So I'm going to post it one more time now, so that hopefully everybody can see that. Okay, so today we're going to talk about poetic spells today. Oh, wait a minute. There's some coming in. Let's see. When cats come and lions roar, cats will rule the world. Okay, that's from Justin. That is great. When cats come and lions roar, cats will rule the world. As if they don't already, Justin. I have 2 cats and they seem to rule my house. That's awesome. I love it. That's great. If you have any more, just keep popping them in. Those prophecies are so much fun to read. Today, we're going to talk about spells, though. So spells are kind of fun. They can be as simple as like maybe one little word, or they can be long, huge paragraphs, books-like things. So can any of you think of any spells? Like, what's some famous stories about magic there might be spells in? Maybe, I don't know, Harry Potter. There's some spells in that. Let's see. What else? There's, Shakespeare. Anybody ever heard double, toil and trouble? Have you heard that one from maybe Macbeth? So we got a little Shakespeare. Abracadabra, very good. Yes, that's a good one. Wingardium Leviosa. Yes, exactly. So we can come up with just a word or two, or we can come up with sentences. Let me see. I'm going to read you one and see if you heard this one. This is from a famous, let's call it a witch movie. I'm not going to tell you what it is till the end. See if you know this one. Unfaithful lover long since dead, deep asleep in thy wormy bed. Wiggle thy toes, open thine eyes, twist thy fingers toward the sky. Life is sweet, be not shy. On thy feet, so saith I. Does anyone know what that one's from? I'll give you a second. Let's see. Allure. Yes, Allure is a good one. I can't say that one. I know that's Taylor and Sherry Smith, but that one that might kill somebody. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. That's a perfect one. Very good. And Chelsea, yes, that is from Hocus Pocus. So the one I just read is from Hocus Pocus. where she brings someone back from the dead, and she thinks he's going to do all these awful things for her. Maybe. No, I won't spoil that for you. Anyway, so we have all sorts of things from literature, from movies, from all sorts of places that we can get these spells that are fun ways for an author to add in a little bit of magical events or a way to control something. So if they want to change the way the characters are acting or make something kind of fun happen that the characters wouldn't normally do, they'll do a spell. How many of you have ever read or watched the play A Midsummer Night's Dream? So in A Midsummer Night's Dream, you've got Puck coming out, and he is doing these little spells, and he gets them all mixed up, and he does the wrong one. And so it changes people, how they act. They're no longer in love with the person they were. They're now in love with somebody else. And so it changes everything around. And why does Shakespeare do that? Well, because it's funny. That's why. It's a humorous way to make people do crazy things. That would have been a fairly boring little story if we just, the people ran off and they got married. But he makes it more fun by changing things around because the fairies come in and mix things up. And of course, Puck is all messing things up and doing all sorts of crazy things. So it makes it a more fun story. Just like in Harry Potter, we get those wonderful moments of where something happens. And sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes it's sad. People die in the movies and the books. I'll get the words out in a minute. So we can change up how the characters react. We can add some suspense. So a poetic spell is really just a bunch of words that we use as a magical charm or incantation in literature. So yes, we totally could do something like abracadabra, but that's not really poetic, is it? I mean, it's a fun spell. We could do Allura Moore. We could do all these Expelliarmus, all these fun Harry Potter ones, but they're not really a spell. They're just really a quick thing, the word that they say that makes something happen. Oh, is that one of your favorite plays, Molly? It's one of my favorite too. I love it. Puck is fun. So what we're going to do today is we're going to create our very own poetic spell. Now, it's not that hard, I promise. If you got the printable, it's all laid out here for you. If you don't have the printable, just grab you some paper, grab you some pencil. We do this all the time in our poetry tea time, and we write some poetry. So right here, it tells us what the form is. A poetic spell is a poem that's filled with magical words. So what kind of magic, what does that mean, magical words? Well, it basically means we can make up any word we want to. Bippity boppity boop was something that Disney came up with, or somebody in the Disney world came up with. Abracadabra. I'm not even sure where abracadabra comes from. J.K. Rowling came up with a ton of them. Actually, Tolkien and Lewis both talk about spells, but we'll get to them in just a minute. But magical words can be anything you want. So the cool thing is you can make it rhyme, even when it's not supposed to rhyme, because you just made up a word. I mean, Shakespeare did it all the time, right? So did Dr. Seuss. Okay, so it's filled with magical words that characters use in stories to create enchantments. It's one of my favorite words. I love the word enchantments. To create enchantments, often rhyming and using creative language to create a sense of wonder and mystery. Now, sometimes spells can be scary and they can do evil things, like the evil Queen Jadis. She did horrible spells, like the deplorable word, if you've ever read The Magician's Nephew. It's a horrible spell that it destroys people. Or she does things like where she turns characters in the books into stone. So there's all these bad ways, but there's also spells that are good, that do good things, that bring people together. Or like when Aslan comes in, he breaks the spell with his own enchantment and turns everything to spring, those kind of things. So there's all sorts of ways we can use spells. It doesn't have to be bad. It can be fun. All right, so that's what we're doing. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to brainstorm. Now, brainstorm just means we're going to think. We're going to write down all sorts of things. So if you got a piece of paper, just start jotting down things. The first thing I want you to think about is, what do you want your spell to do? So do you want it to be an evil spell? Do you want it to be a happy spell? Do you want it to be a spell that just simply like, oh, I'm hungry, bring me a sandwich? I like those kind of spells. Would it be one that cleans your house? Oh, that would be my favorite kind of spell. Oh, a magical spell and it cleans my house. or a spell that takes the dogs for a walk when you don't want to. What could your spell do? So think about what your spell is going to do. Now, while you're thinking of that, start thinking of some rhyming words that might work with it. So if I want my broom to all of a sudden start cleaning, let me think of some words that rhyme with broom maybe. So maybe broom and room, doom. So I could think of some words that start rhyming with those. So give me an idea in the comments, guys. What kind of poem are you going to do? What is your spell going to do? Let me know what you think you want to do. And if you already have some rhyming words, toss those in the comments too. Let's see what we got going here. Now, while y'all are posting the comments, because I know it takes a few seconds, I want to give you some examples of some poems that are just made up that are magical spells. Now, these are not, you're not going to find these in literature, because here's the thing. We have to write our own spells because, where'd my book go? C.S. Lewis did not do it for us. In fact, if you go through, you'll find that the spells that the queen did, we don't hear what they are. In fact, sometimes we hear her whispering words. So we don't know what spells she actually said. We just know what happened. So I'm going to give you one that kind of made up here, winter spell. Maybe she said this, maybe she didn't. We don't know. Winter never ends, snow and ice descend, cold and frost to stay, night and frozen day. So you can see how that could be a spell that turns everything to winter. We also don't know how she makes all the statues, but it could be still as stone, life's breath now gone, flesh to rock by my command alone. So we got the rhyming in there, and she's turning people, flesh to rock. So it's like a stone one. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. All right. Broom to clean the room. See, that's a great one, isn't it? Be happy, you must use your heart. Oh, that's a good one. Broom to clean the room. Have people, heal people, and clean the house. See, that's really good. Doing things for others and yourself. Send people to the moon. I'm hoping that's a good thing, a positive thing, and not just getting rid of them. Remember, darling, we're never apart. Clean me room, or you shall meet your doom. I like that, Molly. Clean me room, or you shall meet your doom. A time freezing spell. Ooh, I like that. Hour and power. Oh, those are good rhyming words, and you don't think of that, Elizabeth, because they just spell differently, so you have to say them out loud. Turn objects into food. Yes, see, that would be bad for me, though. I would turn everything into Nutella, and I would just be sick all day. A spell that feeds the cats. That's a good one. One to make things disappear. One to make it always cool outside. One to make an object glow. That sounds a little like the White Witch there. One to make it cool outside. Maybe you live in a really hot area. To be happy, you must use your heart. Remember, darling, we were never apart. Oh, you put them together. Thank you, Shell. I didn't notice those were good. Those are great. That is great. When spring comes, then plums come. When joy lays, boys play. And when elk goes, then winter flows. When he comes, Antarctica is no more dark. Light saves the world. Oh, that's sweet. I like that one. That was Sister's Prophecy. Okay. One to pick up dog poop. Absolutely. We totally need that one, Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea, Noel, and Neil. Sorry. Zippity blippity blue. Stick together like glue. Close friends for life through good and strife. Oh, that's a sweet one. And I like how you took bippity boppity blue and changed it to zippity blippity blue. Clean the room or suffer doom. One to make people kind. Oh, that would be sweet. Stop the time, stop the hour, freeze the whole world with my power. Ooh, Elizabeth, that would be useful, wouldn't it? I like that one. A sword to slay the darkness. Avert looming disaster and doom. Those are fabulous, guys. You guys have this down. What? You don't even need me here. We don't need to do this. You've got it down. Good job. All right. Okay, you guys are already working on it. So some of you come up with some ideas and have it in your poems, and some of you have already written some poems. So let's have you do this. If you don't want to finish it up today, you can finish it up tonight or tomorrow. Bring it back tomorrow so we can hear what your poetic spells with Jadis are. And also bring back your prophecy spells. If you didn't have those done, do those as well. So let's have a little bit of prophecy spells and a little bit of poetic spells, because tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit more about C.S. Lewis's poetry. So not so much poetic spells or prophecies. It's not a prophecy spell, I guess. I mean, I guess it could have seemed like that. But we're going to talk a little bit more about just C.S. Lewis's poetry, because he wrote some poetry later on about Narnia. Okay, you guys have done great. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of instruction here. Remember yesterday we talked about imagery and symbolism, and we said imagery is when you close your eyes and you can hear it, or you can see it, and you know like what's happening because you're visualizing it in your mind. So I want you to think of using those type of words when you write your poems, so that everybody else can see it or hear it. And also we talked about symbolism. So remember we talked about how Jadis was symbolizing evil and the cold and the dark and the dying and the winter. All those things were with those kind of ideas of death and dying and sad and misery. Whereas we looked at Aslan with spring and things blooming and all the colors. So Jadis is kind of a lack of colors, and Aslan is all these wonderful colors put together, and how that symbolizes the good and the rebirth and the warmth and all these amazing things. And just like Miss Olivia talked about earlier, allegory. Allegory is where we're telling a story within a story. So in our story, C.S. Lewis is telling us that there's evil and there's good in the world. And what side do you want to be a part of? And what side do we want to win? And this was the first book he wrote in this story. And he went backwards and wrote the back stories to him and things like that. But this is the very first one he wrote. And he was trying to tell the story of good versus evil. Kind of like, well, in a couple of weeks, I'm having to be Princess Leia. And that's the Star Wars story of good versus evil. Just like Harry Potter's the story of good versus evil. All these things have good versus evil. Even Shakespeare used the good versus evil. It's a major literary trope that he's used all the time because it works really well. All right, let me see if there's any more that I missed before we head back over to see who won the prize. Let's see. I can't read it all. When leaves fall. Okay, well, I can't read, Angie. Yours, it didn't post all day. Oh, there it goes. Winter calls. When leaves fall, winter calls. And when birds fly down, snow falls to the ground. Ah, that's a good one, too. You guys are doing a great job. I can't wait to see what you have tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. Okay, Miss Gina, do we have a winner?
We do. Do you want them to email the one you said yesterday or me?
It's up to you.
Okay. Well, they could just email me. Let me put my email in the comments. I'll do it now since it'll take a while for it to post, right? Okay. It's Gina@musicinourhomeschool.com, and Gina with an E. All right. So the winner of the ocarina is Jamie Davis. Jamie Davis, Jamie. And the winner of A Year with Lewis and Tolkien is Mountain View Academy. So if you all just email me at Gina@musicinourhomeschool.com, I will get your prizes to you.
All right, that is wonderful. Thank you both so much. So Olivia, I believe, is posting that on our feed, and I believe Gina or Deshelle has already posted it on her feed as well. So Gina@musicinourhomeschool.com. All right. So remember, tomorrow we are actually going live dressed as mythical creatures or magical creatures. And are you going to wear your mask and freak out?
I'll wear it first, but then I'll take it off.
So if you have little kids, don't let them look at Olivia first off tomorrow because she might freak them out. But thank you all so much for joining us. We are super excited. And before we go, I just wanted to let Gina and Deshelle just plug your camps and memberships again, because I think that we forgot to do that earlier. So Gina?
Sure. I have a membership where we're doing some really fun things this summer, music and art, live lessons, just like we did today. And it's at musicinourhomeschool.com/membership.
Deshelle?
And I have summer lit camp that is starting on Friday, actually, this week, or Thursday, kind of, sort of. And next week, we'll start with our live book club. So we only actually start with our live till next week. But if you type in the word live in the coupon code, but I've actually already put it in here. So if you type in the word live, you get 30% off. It's a summer lit camp. And we are so excited to be studying all month, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yay, thank you. And then don't forget about our art venture into, I almost said Neverland, but it's Narnia this time. And we have our activity PDF with the quest to save Narnia, tons of delicious recipes, and all kinds of other goodies. So thank you so much for everyone who has joined us live. And again, if you join us on the replay, put replay and tell us where you're joining us from. We can't wait to see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.